can start with the trade a day because it kind of makes sense that we would. And the reason for this is because of the dollar bubble and the Kiwi bubble. So the New Zealand dollar is strong, the USD is weak. So therefore we should see NU go up. And well, we did, to be honest with you. We had the trigger to buy a couple of hours ago. And so we did actually okay on that move. 62.21. 62, yeah, I mean, it's like a 25 bit move or something like that since the trigger, since the signal was triggered. However, I was saying it might be better to wait for a test of the supply or the test of the demand. At least you know where your stop's going to be. Right now, we're flat bang in the middle of demand and supply. So I did record it on the sheet, and but personally, for me, I would wait for these areas to be respected in order to then buy or sell, because you've got your stop losses, right? If you enter now, it's basically a gamble, isn't it, really? Are you going to go up here? Are you going to come down here? Sentimentally, we should be coming up. But, fundamentally, we can see the US yields are pumping. How are the indices? If the indices are puking, they're not too bad. The Nasdaq's negative, but everything is pretty green. So this might be okay. Remember, the New Zealand dollar is riskier than USD. And because of that, it will track the fundamental correlation of risk on or risk off, and the dollar will appreciate in a safe haven if we're risk off. And New Zealand dollar is a risky currency, so it'll appreciate when we're risk on. Okay, so it just basically is a quick one to perhaps not enter at market but sell at their zones. Okay, and that's probably my recommendation. We did get the signal triggered 4:30 UK time, which is obviously really early, but it did trigger, and looks like we're almost at the break even now, but it would have done okay-ish, 25 pips or so, 25 pips. So yeah, it might be a case of buying lower down and then potentially even selling up there, but you want the bubbles to agree. So a little bit choppy, and it is what it is, isn't it? So it might be okay. It might want to do this first. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So it's been recorded on the sheet. Yesterday's EJ trade was really good. We got 58 pips from that. And, this might negate yesterday's gains, which would be pretty rubbish. But we'll have to wait and see how we go. It might want to do this just to be annoying, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's just, it doesn't want to make it too obvious of its direction. If it looked really obvious it's going to go up, it wouldn't do it. It needs to zigzag. So it needs to come down first, do that sort of thing. So let's have a look at the indices. And I've got to remember not to maximize my screen because I'll lose my application. And we'll start with gold because it's on here right now. They've gone long, so we're going to probably create a zone, move across so we can see the numbers. Potentially we're going to have a zone here at 1959, 1953, and it will need the crossover, basically. Once we've got the crossover, we can map a resistance zone there. So we can go to S&P. Kind of done it in a kind of weird way. So I've got two monitors and they're different definitions, the resolution. That's probably what it is. So we made a buy, but we are sideways, so we're probably going to be sideways chop on the S&P. You can see how we're just consolidating, and the sentiment is consolidating as well. So we really need to sell it in order for us to break higher. And so there isn't really any commentary there. Like I said in Discord, no comment scenario. So currently resistance 3994, and we've got support at 3952. So slap bang there, aren't we? And yeah, we have to wait to see what happens down there until they've decided what they're going to do. So there's the buy, for example. You see a big move, right? And if we're going sideways, there's not going to be a big move. So it might be that they need to have some news to come out. German 30. And yeah, we've got that zone. They don't really want them buying. If they buy it, we're going to fall quite, probably fairly strongly. But they went long here. Price really fell. It was actually quite scary. And then they sorted it at the low. so they got punished. If they go long again, they're probably going to get see some scary price action, and then they'll get shaken out. So be careful here on DAX, and yeah, and likewise they're possibly going to be buying it, and you know what happens when they buy it. All right, so we had a big spike, but bloom, right? Where they went long here, boom, and you know, so whenever they go long, they get pretty crushed. So be really careful there. And just to go back on, actually, we can look at the NU here. Actually, I think we can. We'll have a look at this. I haven't seen this yet. Oops, I don't know if I selected it. Yes, I did. Yeah, they've gone long, so it's looking bad from an FXCM perspective. So our bubbles and FXCM sentiment are slightly out of bonk in so much as that my FX book are short New Zealand dollar and FXCM are long, right? Quite drastically different to my FX book. So they've gone long on NU at the FXCM level. So be careful, and it'll be recorded on the sheet, and it might just mean that it's going to drop, and it will just erase yesterday's losses. So be really careful. And I'll wrap up now. Do a Patreon video, then I'm going to crack on with things, you know, at home, and I need to do a list of things that I need to be getting on with. Right, so be careful, and I'll speak to you guys soon.